don't know, maybe tonight we took a bit of a different accent. Start this fucking show. Maybe start with a bit of Scottish accent, maybe. Hey,
Hey,
you big ugly bastard. You want to have a fucking safety meeting?
always. I love a safety meeting. I can't do accents.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
For the fuck's sake, who says cheers every day? Oh, I know. The Scottish, the Irish, and the British. They all do it.
I
But
normally say
anyways,
shalom, just to be honest
what's
with
up?
you.
What's
I'm,
good, everybody? Glad you came back to join us for another episode of Safety Meeting. As we all know, I'm Big Pat, here with my cousin Joe. We're here to talk. We're here to talk about some things, as usual. A
and I'm
couple
here with
days
my
passed.
boy Blue.
What up, Blue? What's up, bro? He don't see me, but I see him.
That's right. Always got to shout him out when he's in the picture, people.
So today's February 1st, 2021, right? We finally made it out of January. And then I wake up this morning and I'm doing my normal routine. I'm having a cup of coffee, going through and looking on my Facebook posts, and I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. And I'm on a post. Excuse me, not a post. I'm on a page, and it's for WWE, and they're talking about the Royal Rumble last night, which was a pretty good show. But I start scrolling through the comments, right? And as I'm scrolling through the comments, I'm starting to see all these weird messages that I'd never seen before. And they were coming from all these people that live in a country called Myanmar. And I had never heard of Myanmar before. It's never even, I've never even heard, I've never heard it ever until this morning. So I thought it was kind of weird. So I continue scrolling on my feed and I start looking at all these other sites, like one was for Food Network and one was under comic book. And I'm starting to notice this pattern that something is going on in the country of Myanmar. And one of the messages that was posted, I saved it because I wanted to read it to you guys, the people who watch this, the people who may or may not know.
He's
So if you
talking
don't
about
mind,
you. You right
yeah,
there. He's
I'm
not talking
talking
about me.
about
He's
you.
talking about you. You.
Right. Yeah. Joe and I have been talking about this all day. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to take a second. I'm going to read this comment today that was posted on a WWE website. Okay. So it
Smell that.
says, "Dear international friends, sorry for posting this here. In our country of Myanmar, the military has detained our elected democratic government, party leaders, and political activists. This is a breach of democracy in the nation. National television channels and some phone services and internet services are cut nationwide. So please be aware of what is happening in Myanmar right now and support us. This is against the will of the citizens, and they're using weapons to shut us out. We, people from Myanmar, need attention and urgent action from the people and governments around the world. Myanmar military is repeating the ugliest history of conducting a coup over unfounded false claims of voter fraud." Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So the Myanmar army has couped the nation and announced to be a power for a year. We need to let the world know that this is not our choice. So for all our international friends, please help us in any way you can. Let us know, or let the world know, by sharing this message. So that was just one of many examples. Had anything like that popped up for you today? Anywhere? Have you seen anything about this country called Myanmar?
Oh, I seen it last night right after it happened. It was about a half hour after it happened. I was on DuckDuckGo just looking up world news like I do on a
Mm-hmm.
nightly, and it just popped up in my feed that she had been taken over by the military. So I started doing some digging into it, see, well, why? And just like you said, it's the voter fraud, and I'm like, that seems kind of familiar, you know. And then you go to look back into it, and the military has already had run the country before, and they did it in like a tyranny type of way. They're known for being fucking violent with their own citizens, and they'll just kill you right like that.
Right.
Like back in, I think it was in 2018, I want to say it was either 2018, 2019. The country was finally given its, given over to the governing party that I can't pronounce the woman's name because I don't speak that language. But it was finally given to her. And the first thing these people did was they fled the country right over the border. Because even though she was given like leadership of the governing party, the military still had a big major ruling in the country. Like, they were like the country's police force. They, you do what we say or you ain't gonna do shit.
Right.
Like they're the ones that wrote and signed the Constitution and all that shit. So I don't know, man. It just kind of seems like maybe this is a test run
Possibly.
for other countries. Maybe not necessarily America, just other countries. A lot of these other smaller countries, right? For the elite to say, listen, you're the leader of this country. We as America, for a lot of these countries, gave you your democracy, right? That's how we've done it over the years. We'll go over there, we'll fight your wars, we'll drop some bombs, we'll win for you and say, you can be a Democrat based on, we'll give you democracy.
Right. We'll give you the same problems that we have
Exactly. So they
because
say,
our way works great.
so then they go ahead and they say to these people, well, you do what we want you to do, or else we'll take you out. Now it's finally come time, people. Now they're going to say, well, we're taking people out. Right here's the first run. We're going to see how it works. We'll do it in this small country that's already got the military at most of the power.
So basically, I don't mean to cut you off. So
No,
basically, what I'm gathering is, um, when you try to research anything about that we've been talking about at all, it's very limited. You don't get a lot. There's not a lot
yeah,
to work with. There's not a lot out there. So they're trying to keep it under wraps. And it just it got me thinking. So again, I'd never heard of this country before, ever. Like I don't even recall it um, anywhere geographically on the map. I've never heard of it. So
it's
if
because
they
it's
are
it's
willing,
because it's originally known as Burma.
Burma,
Burma.
gotcha, okay,
Burma. Burma. They speak
gotcha,
because they even still speak Burmese to this day.
okay.
Sorry, just wanted to throw that out there.
So so just my point is, I guess, or my thought is, so under the under the ideal of democracy, these people were forced to inherit change. So through some resistance, they were able to achieve this change. And they did everything they were supposed to do. And the time comes and they have an election. And they have the election, and the lady who won by a landslide, right?
Yeah.
But everybody believes that the election was rigged because they're all like, I didn't vote for her. So how did she win by a landslide? Okay. So people start to ask questions. That's it. They just ask questions. Yes.
That little paragraph that you just read when you first started, didn't it say that her being locked down and the country being locked down they're doing that against the country's will, though? Because if they're doing that against the countryman's will, that means that they would have voted for her. I'm not trying to contradict what you just said, but you just said it in two different points at the same time.
Right. It's just because the information that you try to read is if it feels misleading, you know.
That's all
So
right. That's where we're
trying
getting
to
confused.
yeah, so trying to interpret it, like I said, this is just my thought. So basically, this democracy that was established, the people didn't like the way that it was going, and they resisted, and they started to gather, and immediately, uh, their own protection turns on them and locks down the country. So why are
Gotcha.
they doing this? Is this a experiment, or is this
Here's
something that if it goes this way, well, then other people around the world, it'll be like a domino effect and they can challenge their democracies.
maybe. Here's my other question. When you because you got that standpoint from everything you researched, right?
Right.
Everything you were researching is that's what the countrymen were saying and all like this. Were these American news sites?
Oh, of course, we're in America.
Well, because the only reason why I asked is because when I look up a lot of this news, I try to find other countries that are talking about it because you
Facts.
get a different point of perspective from it. That's how I figured out. That's how I learned about how the tyranny and all that shit like that was going on with the military. That's why I don't believe that it's that the countrymen wanted her out. You know what I'm saying? I think the countrymen wanted her in, and they didn't want the military there.
Maybe.
Because why else? Why else? Why else? A couple years ago, with all those people fled because of the military. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So maybe she really did gain the popular vote, and the powers that be didn't agree with it.
So
Bless you.
maybe that's what would have happened in America if Donald Trump would have won.
I don't know, man.
I'm just like I'm not gonna really say it's collusion. It's not collusion. Like I have my own feelings on it. Yes, like I think there was some dirty shit going on in that one. But I 100% think that there was some dirty shit going on both sides on that one. Like I think Trump has proof that Biden cheated only because Trump cheated. You get what I'm saying? I'm able to prove that you did it because I know I did it. So you get what I'm saying? Or am I
Right.
just? That's just how I'm thinking about it.
Well, we'll see. I don't know, man. I just can't help but feel like the reason why this isn't gaining worldwide attention is because they're trying to make it to where people don't know about it. Hence they're blocking out phones and they're blocking
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and they're blocking any sort of way for the people to get their words out.
So
Uh
that way, when it happens to
so
you, it's the first time it happens.
so what if this is just an exercise to see if they're able to do it, and next is going to be the next place, wherever that might be, because there may be something that's of interest there, and so on and so forth. I don't know, man. It's just it's fucked up
See,
that it's
but
fucked up though, because
who's doing this
if
though?
we're trying to, right, who is doing this? But if you're trying to enforce democracy, a peaceful way of living, where you look at life both perspectives as an American, of you see both the glass half empty and half full at the same time. Like, so if you're trying to enforce this belief system and the whole world watches as you do it and you implement it, and then all of a sudden there's a glitch in the system and you realize the system doesn't work. Well, if it was that fast to happen for somebody else, who's to say it hasn't happened here on multiple occasions and we just don't know the difference?
True.
That's it. That's all. That's, I guess, the point that I'm really getting to it.
See,
I feel that everybody who I don't know, man.
I think the big question that you're not asking,
Who is it? Why?
who is it and why? All right. All right. Because you can say the why is for world domination, but I don't think it's just that simple. Like, it to me, in my opinion, I think it's China because they made it very clear they want to reconquer Asia. The countries that they don't have a ruling say so, and now they have a trade agreement with, to where you got to give me shit for free.
Right. I don't know, man.
So they got everybody. Maybe that was just the last country. You were the guys who were one holding out.
The resistance.
Or it could be biblical and been spiritual because that's where a lot of these monks are. This is a place where a lot of monks over the years have protested and then been murdered for protesting by the military. Who the fuck wants them who in their right mind is gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna kill the monk? Exactly. Who thinks of that? Like that man
Bad
means you
guys.
exactly, because that man means you absolutely no harm whatsoever. He wants you to fucking love each other. He don't want you to shoot him. He'll die for what he believes in, and I 100% respect that. Like there's something to be there. Like there's a lot of shit to be said about that. Like there's a lot of shit that I think these people are going to overlook. Even when they do read about it, they're just going to say, "Oh well, it's just another crazy thing that happens. I guess
It's not
America's going
here
to
in
have
my
to go."
hometown,
Yep. Well,
right? It's a lot of people's mentality. Well, it ain't happening in my neighborhood, so I feel bad for these people, but I'm glad it's not me.
exactly. Like,
Motherfuckers, it's gonna be you if you don't fucking pay attention to the fact that
and here's my point of thinking. There's a whole thing out there right now. People are wondering, well, what's going to happen to her? If you're fucking stupid enough to really sit here and believe that she isn't on her way to death within the next couple weeks or dead yet, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you, man. You just a whole different brand of stupid. Because you don't kidnap that bitch and say, yeah, we're going to have a coup and overthrow you. When do you overthrow a ruler and not kill the ruler? When in history has that happened? When in history has another country or another or someone tried to overthrow a king or whatever and they not kill the king? Normally in that situation, they kill you and your whole family.
right, unless you're Saddam Hussein,
Which I think was
because
stupid. How you gonna
they
leave
seized
his?
him and then they held him in prison for years and then they executed him. Like, why? Why waste all that money to
Hold on.
imprison him? Just fucking pull the trigger and get it over with.
Did they really execute him though? Same thing with Osama bin Laden. Did they really kill him?
I
Especially
mean,
Osama,
public
because because
public records say so, though.
Bin Laden's body never even made it back to America, pop. They dumped him off in the ocean. They gave him a Navy burial. The man was a former CIA agent. Like he worked for the CIA. They got pictures of him shaking hands of people working in the White House and shit like that. Working the White House, him
Bin
wearing
Laden?
normal. Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean,
I
they
didn't know
could
that.
they could have been Photoshop pictures, but I mean, I've seen him on multiple occasions. People talking about how he was a former CIA agent, and that we really started because 9/11 was planned. We all really know that by now. If you don't know that, then
And if it's your
yeah.
first time hearing it, I'm sorry that you had to hear it so blatantly. But I mean, there are there's plenty of evidence from every angle that says it it, it was. Just depends on whether you want to believe it or not, and if you know.
It was 100% an inside job, set up all the way. Because listen, people, listen. Not too many people know this or nothing like that, but before the Corona thing started and I got laid off recently, I was a steel worker. Okay, and jet fuel ain't gonna burn hot enough to fucking melt steel, and let it known enough to cause all them fucking extra explosions afterwards. All right, but you know what will? Thermite. And what happened the weeks prior to the explosion on the floors that the planes hit? They had construction. sealed off areas, people doing construction, doing work to the beams of the building. Some of these
It's in there.
beams, some of these beams that were, exploded and melted from all of this shit, perfect angles to make the building collapse. They've had they've had fucking engineers look at it. Like that shit was a plant. That shit was set up. Because you
It
know
was it
why?
was only it was only because of what was inside the buildings.
I think it's bigger than all of that though. Like yes, we have to get rid of what's inside the buildings, but it's also the test run to see if we can get these people around our finger completely. Because what was the first thing that it did? It united the whole country. And then what was the next thing it did? It fucking divided every single one of us even further. It made people that had no problem with Muslim people automatically hate all Muslims.
Right, just because the television or told them so.
Exactly. Like, the funny thing about it is they were on the news sitting there, like they were on the news sitting there talking about how they didn't know who it was that did it, but they knew immediately that it was the Taliban. Why are you lying to everybody? We're talking about people that lie to you on a basis, on a regular.
Right, they showed instances of cartoons and different TV shows predicting the planes hitting the towers.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to 1964, it was a Disney cartoon. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but it was a scene. I think it was with a guy with his dog, and his dog says, the dog screams, oh God, it's going straight for the tower," and he pretends to grab his chest and fall backwards and pretend like he died. I don't know, but if so, why?
Why is it set up?
Why do these things like that happen? Why? What is its
Control.
purpose
Because
other
it's
than capital?
it's control. It's all leading, in my opinion, it's all leading to a certain bigger goal. All right. America is one of the few countries in the world, pretty much the only one left besides like maybe Canada, to where you can openly own firearms. All right.
Yeah,
And not
yeah,
just and not just that, you can openly own military grade firearms. And we already have enough legal residents that are legal gun owners, active hunters, to
yep,
man the world's largest army.
yeah.
All right.
1,000 civilians to one soldier.
Exactly. So we could go up against everybody and it scares them. That's why they have to
But
keep that's why they have to
would
keep
it
us so
change
divided.
anything?
Yes, it would change a lot.
You could get rid of all the bad guys that are in the foreground, but what about all the bad guys in the background?
A man who forgets his past is doomed to repeat it. Okay? The elites bet once that the American man would not overcome them. That these simple ass minded farmers and workers and just regular ass everyday fucking people would not beat us. That's what they thought in the Revolutionary War. Am I wrong? What
Right.
happened?
You're right.
We won. So yeah, I really do believe if we were all stand up, it would make a big difference.
Which is why
Because
created.
us standing up gives the Canadians a chance, gives the Canadian people the ability to stand up, and the Mexican people the ability to stand up, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the ability to unite the world and change the world, but they have to, but they're winning because they're keeping us divided. They have to keep us divided. They got to keep us arguing
Right. Because the
about whatever it is.
a collective human spirit is unstoppable.
Why do you think that they, when they created the government, they created multiple classes, or multiple, not classes, but parties, so that they automatically had division? If you're supposed to be one and all and undivided and all that shit, you're not supposed to be Democrat and Republican. You can't be a democracy and a republic at the same time. It's a contradiction.
Right.
They're not the same thing,
I mean,
people.
it says in the Constitution, uh, and to the republic
And to which we
to which it
stand.
stands, for
Exactly.
which it stands. Yep.
So
The
you
Pledge of
can't,
Allegiance.
like, we're supposed to be a republic, but we've become a democracy. You, like, there's a difference there. We were all supposed to be united. That's where we fell, because we're no longer united. We all have different sects. You can be extreme rightist, extreme leftist, conservative left, conservative
Regular
right,
left, yeah.
regular left, regular right, regular
Yeah.
conservative. You can be a
Yeah.
liberal, you can be
Liberal,
Republican. Like,
independent.
there's so many
Yep.
different things you can be. You can be gay, you can be straight. That has nothing to do with politics. I
You could be
understand
bi.
people,
You could
but
be
but that's
you could be
another
tri.
way.
You could like farm animals.
That's another,
You can go get
exactly.
your penis tucked in and get a gina replacement, and
And
you can
all
be a
of those
boy and a
things,
girl.
and all of
It's
those
just fucking
things
weird. Sorry.
create, make someone out there, even if it's you, your next person, or the person after them, feel uncomfortable. So it's going to make them have some type of negative feelings and want to create that divide towards you. All right, because you got some people that just will not be around a gay person.
Right.
Like,
Homophobia is it's real.
like,
Yeah.
like I got no problem with you, bro. Like, you want, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. With my cousins, Pat knows this. I will crack gay jokes with you all day long. My cousins, my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, I won't walk up to a gay guy and say something like that because I don't want you to think I'm serious, because
Right.
that's misleading. That's like a female coming up to me and hitting on me, and she not wanting to get some of this. Like, that's misleading. That's just fucked up.
Right. It's hurtful.
Like that, but that's all they want to do is create division. Just like our last podcast, they didn't want us having that conversation. They didn't want a black guy, a white guy, and a Native American guy sitting around having a conversation about what to do with the world, because that's
Right.
against everything that they stand for.
This shouldn't be happening.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're all supposed to hate each other. Like, and from my standpoint, how am I supposed to hate either one of you when I'm really just mixed? I got white, native, and black in me. So how am I supposed to hate anybody?
Right.
Like, whose side of my ancestry do I pick? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just that's a fuck game to play. How about we just
Because
break it down?
we live in a country of people from all walks of life.
How about we just
And
break it
rather than
down?
see it as a great opportunity, we see it as a burden on us as a society.
How about
That's
we just
fucked
break
up.
it down like this, people? I'm from Earth. You're from Earth. That's all that matters.
Right.
Don't matter if you're African, Chinese, a fucking dog.
Fucking the
You
dog.
all, no, not fucking a dog, but a dog, a
That's weird,
cat,
man.
a whale. It doesn't matter, man. You got no right to really sit there and kill another thing. You got no right to sit there and think that you're better than another thing. Like, shit, do you know that a bee has more purpose on this earth than you do? If all bees were to go existence, life would go existent afterwards, not too shortly afterwards.
Facts.
But if all humans were to die, the Earth would thrive.
Oh yeah, would thrive. Oh my god, everything would go back to being big again.
Yeah, Earth would thrive. We ruined this shit.
Absolutely. We as a society, as people, as human beings, rather than use the tools created to do good things for the thing that provides us life, we figure out a way to just be only self-absorbed, and the only thing that matters is what happens in your world. That's not the big ideal. Everything that happens in your world is important because it is your world, and you have to maintain it and make it to the best of your ability to make your world count. But the outside world needs that much attention that we put to the inside world. You know, you can't form a community unless you force discussion. You can't form unity unless you promote positive atmospheres. And that's just, how you, it seems like it's unachievable, but it's not really. All you have to do is open up your heart. That's
See,
it.
that's what people are
Because
missing.
and I'll say this over and over and over and over again. The only thing that's going to bring us out of this is love. Love and faith. And not so much faith in specifically a God, but faith in the purpose that love always overcome evil.
This is my honest opinion. This is just America was founded in the way it was for a reason. That in itself was always the biggest dupe. How are you going to make a land for the free, right? And then ask other countries in your constitution, send us your huddled masses, right? Send us you're
Send us your poor,
hungry,
send us,
you're
yeah,
hungry, you're poor, you're sick. We don't care. We'll take them. But at the same time, we're going to have a whole race of people that we're going to enslave. So, but don't worry about that. Like this whole shit was a dupe from the beginning. It was to set up their ultimate plan.
which is
Like to ruin the world.
because
To
we don't because we don't deserve it, or because
no,
somebody said
because
so.
no, because there's certain things you can't outrun, and one of those things is destiny, right?
Or time.
Like,
Can't
yeah,
outrun time.
I mean they're pretty much the same thing, aren't they?
Well, I would think your destiny is fulfilling your purpose, where time is just what dictates it.
Destiny could just be depicted as something that's just meant to happen. You went to the
Like this
store and
podcast.
yeah, that's just something
And
that
if
was
any of
just meant
y'all
to
like
happen.
this shit tonight on tonight's conversation, don't forget to hit that like button and the notification in the corner. Subscribe. We appreciate you guys because real shit. Like when we talk like this, Joe. Like I don't know, man. See, I'm just like everybody else. I get really confused at the things that I see because what I see with my own eyes and what I see, kind of like empathetically through the everybody else's eyes, are always two different worlds. I don't know. So I get confused, and so when we talk about these things, like it's not that I know that you have all the answers, because you're trying to navigate life the same way I am. You just have a series of questions, like I and like many, that deserve some sort of answers. Whether it be something completely silly or something on a larger scale, like there needs to be some sort of truth. There needs to be justice, as we call it. You know, like there has to be something good. There can't always be something bad. And how do we get to that point? How do you take something that you can't control and make it better? Because
See,
ultimately you can't control it. You can't. No matter who you are, unless you have money, and that shouldn't be the fucking answer.
who says that the end of times that we're coming up on is a bad thing? Who says that these ultimate battles are a bad thing?
Right? I mean,
All right, so let's really look.
Unfortunately, sometimes you gotta fucking swing a fist to get your point across.
No, no,
Unfortunately,
no,
that's just
that's not where I
life.
was. That's not really. I was. Yeah, kind of. Where I'm more or less saying to it is there was a process to getting to the paradise. You know what I'm saying? That land of luxury that everyone talks about.
The promised
And
land.
yeah, the promised land. And the way to get there was you had to go, we have to go through hell. We have to go through Armageddon. And I think that's a lot of people's problem is they get too worried about how can I stop it. Sometimes you can't worry about stopping it. Sometimes you just got to worry about this is what it is and just know what to do beforehand to save
But
your soul and the
there's only
ones
so many
around you.
times. But like, there's so many times where you can't. Uh, I don't know. Fuck. I'm sorry, Joe. Continue with your thought. I apologize. I interjected and then I had a stone moment. I forgot what I was gonna
It's
say.
all right. It's all right.
It's like, oh fuck, what happened there?
Like you got to go through the shit to get to the promised land, and people want to stop it and say you can't have it. Like I understand your your intuition and your natural body wants to say, what can I do to make this situation eradicate itself? People should not have to go hungry. You're right. They shouldn't have to, but you know what? They'd have to at the same time. It's the only way. It's been destined for years. It's a prophecy. It's just something that has to happen.
It's the balance of the world.
Exactly.
Every good, there's a bad.
It's kind of like parenting with certain things, right? You let the kids get to a certain stage where they get so defiant about something and that their way is so much better than your way. So you just sit
Right.
back and finally say one day, all right, let's do it your way. And you let them fail. That's what God's going to do. He's going to say, all right, Lucifer, let's do it your way. I'm going to sit back. You got this. It's your turn. We got to go through that, bro. I know that's hard to take and it's hard to just say, all right, to, but it's just something that's got to happen. Like, we are all sent here for a reason, right? Life is
Mm-hmm.
nothing more than a big ass test. That's our final exam.
It's a test
Can
of
you make
character.
can you make it through hell?
I feel like I
Unfortunately,
have.
unfortunately, we're just starting to reach that point in the timeline where we're really going to enter hell. Can you make it through? If you make it through, all that fear and the anxiety and that worry of, am I going to make it? Is everyone else going to be okay? Then the most beautiful thing on the is going to be waiting for you on the other side. But if not, you will pay. It's
That's
just my
deep.
opinion. Thank you. But it's just my opinion. Like,
If I could have just done one of those hits blunt emojis real quick, like a quick, I mean, like that's deep. You know so.
uh, so you get what I'm saying then.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. If any of you guys out there, if you got any answers, any questions, any comments, any ideas,
I'm gonna tell you right now.
just go ahead and drop it in the comments, guys, because we'd love to hear from you. I know you exist. You're out there.
if
We
you come to
see.
me and you tell me you have a bona fide answer and it's 100% no other way about it true, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you bullshit because I'm gonna tell you everything. Everything comes out of my mouth. It might not be right. I
Right,
don't
because
know.
we ultimately don't know everything.
It's like,
All we ever do is really we're just interpreting how we're receiving the information and we're relaying it to the best of our ability based off of what we learned, or what you feel me?
well, I look at it like
I'm,
this, right? For
I know
shit
we're
like
not
that.
historians. I know we're not fucking public speakers. We're not in the fucking sports entertainment business or you know what I mean? This isn't something that we do.
Like you remember back in high school, right? There was always that one kid who would just finish his test real quick and be like, "Oh yeah, I got it all right," and fail every fucking test. But there was always that other kid in the same fucking class that would sit there and take longer than everybody else, hand in the paper, and then sit there and stress the whole time because he thinks that he failed, and then ends up getting every fucking answer right every single time. It's just a weird anomaly. The person that thinks they're right is normally a fucking moron. Only an idiot
Right,
thinks they know something.
right. The only time I ever know I'm right is when I know I'm right, or else I wouldn't be saying it.
Every time I think I'm right is when I tell you to Google something. If I'm willing to look at you and be like, Google it then, bitch, then I know that when Google pops that motherfucker up, it's gonna tell you Joe's right. Not in those words, but
Like there's a spot. Like, did you know that there's a spot right here in New York where if you take your car and set it up on the side of the road, like it'll roll down a hill or no, roll up a hill. If you put the car in neutral,
I know there's
it'll
a
roll
spot in
up a
North.
hill.
I know there's a spot in North Carolina like that called Gravity Hill. I've never heard of one in New York though.
I wonder. I don't know.
There's a
I was
spot
I
up.
was I was just waiting. I was setting you up to hit me with a Google it, bitch. That's what I was waiting for. You didn't do
Nope. There's a spot.
it.
There's a spot up on the res. If you park there at night, and a girl will come out and stand in front of your car and fucking scream at you and shit. She'll get in the car with you and all that.
Hmm.
They supposedly the same thing that happened at 13 curves too, man. You'll come down one of the first couple curves and she'll get in the back of your car. And when you get halfway down to where right about to where they crashed, she'll just disappear out the back of the car.
This happened to you?
No, it ain't never happened to me. I've just heard stories about other people. I like to Google like ghost stories and stuff. I would love to grab a camera during the summertime and just go out overnight and just go in one of these supposed haunted spots. It sounds really dope.
You already got ghosts in your house, though.
I do, 100%. And I talk to them,
I got
and
ghosts in my house as well.
they just don't answer back. I just want to go see some new ghosts, bro. New ghosts are fun because new ghosts still try to scare you and shit because they don't know your energy. This ghost knows my energy. He knows he can't really mess with me. He knows he doesn't really bother me anymore.
Right?
Now people are gonna really think
I,
we're crazy. These guys think they
you guys
got
are like,
ghosts in
oh,
their house.
no, man. I know I do. You don't have to physically see something to know it's there. There's an energy that's emitted that you feel.
So
You cannot deny it.
anybody out there that wants me and Pat to come ghost hunt your house and do that episode like that, hit
Fuck
it
yeah.
down. Let us know. We'll come and we'll ghost hunt. We'll bring voice recorders, camcorders, all
I'll,
that.
I'll put a GoPro on my forehead.
Damn right.
We'll figure this shit out. Night
Well,
vision goggles, whatever. I don't have any of that shit, but just
eBay,
seeing if you
baby.
guys are paying attention. We do it. I'll
Oh
have to
yeah.
check that shit out. For some reason, I've like, I don't know, I've been able to feel and talk to ghosts for almost my whole life. So like, they've never bothered me. The only time once I had years ago, I was living in this apartment. My daughter she was just a baby. She was, like a year and a half, like just a little tyke. She had this guy kept coming in her room when she was trying to sleep at night, and he was a big scary guy, and he kept on trying this. She, from what she says, she at that time, because yeah, Kaylee could talk like it was amazing. Kid's been able to talk since she was one. Um, it was just, she said it was a big, tall, scary guy with a fire hat. So I believed her, and I had a conversation. I went into his room and I had said a prayer, and I said, "Listen, here's the deal. My kid needs to sleep. If she doesn't get her sleep, she's grumpy. And if she's grumpy, then the wife's grumpy. And therefore, in domino effect, I'm going to end up being grumpy, all because you won't let my kid sleep. She says that you're a fireman or she had a fire hat. You're a tall guy. I don't care what your deal is. My kid needs to sleep, and I have a problem with this. So we can do this two ways. You can leave her alone, and you can continue on with your life as is, no problem. Or option B, I could torch this fucking house to the ground, and that everything that goes with it will dissipate, and so will your essence.
No, not always how that works. You need to
But I
weigh it
said
out.
that. I swear to God, I said those exact words. And that man disappeared. And for the next 2 years that we lived there before we moved out, there was never any more, there was no more footsteps. There was no more people walking through the house, no more doors shutting and closing, because that would happen in Keely's room. I don't know why. It was just something about that room. There was a significance in that room to where that man always
Oh,
went into a room and he just sat there and he was, I guess, trying to talk with her. And I didn't like
yeah.
that shit.
I
That
don't
shit
ask.
creeped me out.
I don't ask Bina what she sees. She tells me she sees a man though, because she comes in our
Right?
room every night.
Because they do. When they're that young, they definitely see it. So do cats and dogs. They see them.
But you know what, man? This is my honest opinion. This is something that's been following me for years. We've talked about this. I feel like, but yeah, it's been following me for years since before the kids. Now it is some type of shit. Like I can feel his presence, and I can feel it fucking with the kid or one of the kids, especially Stevie. Like he'll get real cranky certain times when you're trying to lay him down, and I'll just cuss it out real quick, and it'll next thing you know, Stevie will just stop looking off in the corner and just fall asleep.
It's crazy. If any of y'all believe in ghosts, maybe drop a story with us. Hit us up in the comments. Hit that like button. Because, yo, they're real. It's how
Fuck yeah.
you however you want to call it. You call it the paranormal. They call them geists. They call them ghosts. They call them spirits. They call
Hey,
them.
I personally think they're demonic
There's
spirits
souls. I don't know. It depends on how
with a
you
certain
look at it.
standpoint,
Your own personal.
because you always do have a guardian angel throughout your whole life. There's always that one family member's essence or energy
Yep.
that is to guide over your a section of your life. That's why if you notice, your life goes through cycles. About every 5 to 7 years, you'll go through a different life cycle. You're getting a different guardian angel. Not everyone's essence is a positive essence. That's why you have certain parts of your life that are just straight shit for years. And then you have one part
Right.
where everything just fucking clicks and you feel like you're being blessed by gods or God.
Right. Yep.
That's my
Yeah.
opinion. So there's always something there.
I've always just wanted to see one. Like I want to physically see one.
No, you don't, because it completely fucks with you.
Well, I thought I saw a kid once, and I'm pretty sure I did see a kid, but it didn't fuck with me. I was just trying to figure out whose kid it was.
Well, the
But I
reason
mean, it
why,
was brief. I'm talking you like I'm sitting in a room and I'm looking ahead, like I'm looking at the television, and I'm the only one in the room. And out of the corner of my eye, this little kid just walks into the living room. And as I turn my head, there's nobody there. But out of my peripherals, there was totally a small person standing in my living room.
so when we lived in that apartment over there on Harrison Street, right? This was before JJ. This was only a couple months after we moved in. I had just got home from work, maybe a couple hours before. So I was getting ready for bed, and I went, go from the bathroom, from getting changed to go use the bathroom, or the bedroom to the bathroom, to go use the bathroom before bed. Come out the bedroom, bro, and I look off into the corner of look down the hallway because it was a habit to look down the hallway to see, because from there I can see the front door, the living room, all of that.
Yeah.
So it's just a force of habit, check on everything. And I shit you not, right there from that little kitchen area that we had, a dude walked out, looked at me, threw a hood over his head, walked into my living room, took a hard left over to an area where there's nothing but a closet that goes nowhere. Right now, the house had been been redone to be turned into a two-family house. So when you go
Right.
and you open this closet, and you open the closet, it steps up and starts to turn over like it's a staircase going up to the attic. So that's where the motherfucker was going. It was like a residual essence or some bullshit. I don't know what it was. Freaked the shit out of me though, because yo, bro, I
Hmm.
was ready to fight. I thought someone was in my
Mm-mm.
house. I went to go charge him in the living room. He's not there, and I'm like, where the hell did you go? I go over to the closet, open the closet. There ain't nothing in there. I'm like, there ain't nowhere else out.
Mm.
You didn't have time to move the window and jump out the window. And then I would have heard you hit the ground. I like live on the second floor. Like,
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. I love it. That's what's fascinating about life. It's those little things. It's
and
those
the other
little
couple,
things.
the other
And
couple
when
ones
you
that I've
notice
seen,
them, they turn into big things.
the other couple ones I've seen just been like shadow figures. You know what I'm saying? Like you just see a shadow. So you don't know if you really
Silhouette.
see it. Yeah, you don't know if you're really seeing it or not. But like I got something that likes to sit in my closet at night because I sleep in my closet open. Like it's always been a thing ever since I was little. And dead ass, bro. It sits in the fucking closet just staring. Like I could see the silhouette and everything every night. That's how I fall asleep, is watching it stare at me.
Enter the Twilight Zone. That was a
Like
terrible parody.
you ever wake up and you feel like you can't move?
Oh, every fucking morning my left
No,
arm's
no, no,
always
no, no,
asleep.
no. Like you dead ass, you can't, like you dead ass can't move. Like
No.
nothing. Like yo, that shit is the worst shit in the world. I've only
There was one
experienced
time
it once in my life.
I had one time where I had fell asleep like on my stomach and I tucked my arms up under my pillow and fell asleep on my arms and both of my arms fell asleep and my back was really hurting me. So like for a good couple seconds I couldn't literally move unless I rolled over and fell off the bed. Like that's the only way to go.
No, I mean I was legit sleeping on my back and woke up and I could not move any like I couldn't raise my arms, I couldn't move my legs, I couldn't move shit, bro. Like I legit felt like I was paralyzed. I couldn't move my head from side to side. I guess it's a legit thing to call it sleep paralysis. That shit is fucking weird.
So
You go back.
basically when you go to sleep and you go in, you know, that deep sleep or REM sleep, your body basically kind of shuts off.
I don't know. You go back. There's a lot of people that believe that it's just a spirit holding you down, that it's a demon holding you down. That's what they used to believe back in the ancient times. There's a lot of people that still believe it too. Um, they believe that it's all it is that you will actually wake up mentally, but not physically, while still in REM sleep. So your body's not able to move because it's still sleeping.
Right. So it wants to go out of body, but it's being resisted.
Yep. But
It's
if
keeping you in like a suspended animation almost at that point.
but it's just weird because you're not asleep because you can see everything going on around you and everything.
Right.
And there's no like falling back to sleep and waking up and then you can move. It's just like at one moment, at 1 second, you can finally move again. And you get up and it's just like, what the fuck just happened?
Hmm. Yeah. You know, one thing's for sure, it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Yep.
there's another theory out there that when you have a sex dream about somebody, you're actually just having sex with them in an alternate reality.
Man.
Because they believe there's people out because the thought process behind it is that when you fall asleep, right, all you're doing is your mind is just transporting to another dimension to where a body is actually awake and waiting,
So
i.e.,
you're telling
the
me,
Matrix complex.
all those years ago when I had sex with Kimmy, the pink Power Ranger, in my dreams, I really did in a different
Yes.
psychological realm.
Yep. In another dimension, you really did. Because you got to believe,
Dude,
you got to think about it like this.
I totally banged the pink Power Ranger then one
Could-
time when I
You
was like
got
14.
because you got to think about it like this. There's an infinite there's an infinite a number of realities and dimensions. So that means an infinite a number of times everything has the possibility of happening to you. With that many roll of the dices, eventually everything's going to fall out. So in one dimension, everything is going to play out how you wanted it to. So yes, there is a dimension out there where you bang the big Power Ranger.
Fuck yeah, I did.
And
Real good.
there's like even ancient time a lot of these ancient times believe that when you go to sleep and you dream, that's all you're doing is you're going to another your mind is going on a travel to another
So
dimension.
okay, so who have
That's
you banged then in your dreams? You got to have somebody that we can name drop. I threw out Kimmy the Pink Power Ranger. There's no Tyra Bankses or a Jen
Jessica
Jameson or something.
Jessica Alba as Dark Angel.
There you go. See, so you banged Jessica Alba and I banged Kimmy the Pink Power Ranger. It's confession night all of a sudden because we did it in our dreams. So we can't be held
Hey,
accountable. I mean, it was elusive. It was in our subconscious. It didn't physically happen,
there's
which
another
would have been
concept
cool,
out there that we've had this conversation an infinite number of times.
probably.
Like we are currently having this conversation in another reality. In completely different circumstances though.
Yep.
One of us has got a pirate eye.
And no matter what, there's always some sort of uh, Buffalo Bills and Redskins related uh,
Always,
content
always.
and just who we are as individuals.
You feeling safe, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty safe.
You look cold.
How about you?
I'm always safe.
Always, all
Always.
the way up.
Of course, there'll be a one of these days where I won't be safe and I'll be like, listen, I got to start this shit out. I got to rant. Not soon, but it'll happen.
I've been trying to pressure Joe to do an intro, and he always says, "Fuck your intros."
Yeah, I did do an intro like that once. You went to go start doing your intro. I said, "Fuck your intro."
Right? It's okay.
So
We'll
if y'all
figure it
like
out.
this, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And that's pretty much it,
Tails
people.
to the.
Fuck Tom
That's pretty
Brady.
much it. Yeah.
It is
And
finally upon us. Super Bowl week is here, people. Fuck Tom Brady. This is something I want to talk about. I've seen a lot of people out there in Central New York wearing Tom Brady or Buccaneers memorabilia. Y'all weren't Buccaneers fans 2 weeks ago.
nope.
Pretty sure this is happening all around the country. Stop
Mm-hmm.
it. Just fucking
Stop it.
stop it.
Just leave them alone. They're not that great.
No. Patrick Mahomes is going to win. It's going to be a passing of the torch situation. He's going to sound like Kermit the Frog when he's giving his MVP speech. You can't say he's going to Disney World. Don't know where he's going to say he's going to go. I'm going to get my vaccine shot, guys.
I'm gonna go get my vaccination. Thanks for the game, Tom. It was a really good time. I want to go down to Disney, but I think we're gonna end up going to, I don't know, probably down to the park. You know, coronavirus. Let's go, Chiefs. Or what, something like that. I don't know.
I'm sorry. That was the most
I'm
horrible
Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes
Mahomes.
reporting. Oh,
That
I
was
love you, Miss Piggy.
It was just straight Kermit the Frog. There was no Patrick Mahomes, just straight Kermit the Frog.
Thanks, Jake from State Farm. You have any more ketchup? Whatever. I don't like Patrick Mahomes either, but I'm rooting for the Chiefs.
I mean, I like him more than I like fucking Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, the only thing I say
We'll
about the
see.
Buccaneers is I do like their defense. But you know what's funny, man? You look at his stats from this year and you look at Jameis' stats from last year, and they look pretty much like a lot alike. A lot of big games, Tom Brady had multiple interceptions.
Fuck them.
Just saying.
Fuck them.
I hope he doesn't win, man. I'm
I'm
just
I'm calling. Yo, I'm gonna go throw this out completely random, but here it is. I'm calling Brooklyn being the NBA champs this year. I'm calling it.
yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah,
happen. Lakers all the
I'm
way.
calling it though. It might
Lakers,
be. It
baby.
might end up being. It's gonna end up probably being Brooklyn and Lakers in the finals. We'll see.
No.
We'll see. I'm saying, watch out, Brooklyn this year.
Yo, did you
They're
watch
trying to
that
put
video?
Brooklyn on the map.
You watched that video of the 2003 quarterback challenge that I sent you earlier?
Yeah,
Yo,
I watched the first couple minutes of it.
oh man, no, I wanted you to watch the 7 minute mark like I asked you to. And when you must not have seen that part. Yo, so 2003, right after, Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, he went to the quarterback challenge. And Matt Hasselback was sitting there doing one of the challenges, and he grabbed the ball, and he's like, "What? This ball's light. It's slow on air." But he threw it, you know what I mean? Hit the pass, no problem. And he throws the ball to Boomer and all like this. And Boomer's like, "No, it's fine." But when he first said it, the fucking announcer looks at the camera. Oh, it doesn't look. He just sits there and he's like, "Must have been Brady." This is way before the Flake Gate. This is way before they knew he was cheating. They knew he was cheating back then. He ain't got no arm strength, so he went before you. They must have lowered the ball for him. Always been a cheating bastard.
Oh, yep. Fuck him. I didn't see that part though.
Go back and watch it. That shit was actually pretty funny, man. I know I didn't give the best rendition of it or remake, but you can go fuck yourselves. I sat here, smoked 2 blunts, talked about a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
If you think you can do better,
Let's see it.
you can come on in as a guest. We take anybody at this point. Just as long as you have something interesting to say. If you don't have anything interesting to say, go fuck home.
Right. Facts. If you want to just come on here to talk about your Magic deck or whatever, which I'm not against, just
I am.
for anybody who knows, I love the game of Magic, Magic the Gathering. It's a great game. Been playing it for a long time. Nerd life. What you know about that? Nothing.
Nothing. Nerdiest I got it
So,
was I watched Dragon Ball Z.
so I don't know. I guess we could probably, I don't know. You want to wrap it up?
Sure. I love wrapping it up. You got to stay safe.
Always safe. So I guess for a final thought, to the country of Myanmar, we got your message. We got it loud and clear. And we're going to say our prayers for you. And we pray something progressively changes. And hopefully it doesn't happen on our own soil, because it's going to be a lot more of a resistance than the little tiny blip of Myanmar on the global scale. So
This is what I got to say
praise,
about that.
I pray we all stay safe, and I pray we take care of each other and look out for each other, and we will make it.
People of Myanmar, ain't shit gonna change unless you stand up and fight back. Not saying a lot of you won't get hurt, a lot of you won't get killed, but if you want change, you gotta fight for it, man. If these people are really out here killing you guys like that for no reason and being tyrannies and like change it.
Tyrants. Yeah.
Tyrants. Like just change it. Just fight for yourself. Stand up for yourself.
This is your moment. You should seize it. Don't be scared. War isn't pretty, but eventually good always triumphs over evil.
Maybe you ain't even gotta go that far. Maybe you're just showing them that the fact that you're willing enough to fight them for what they're doing is wrong will just show them that what they're doing is wrong, and they'll back off. Maybe they really are in the inclination and thought that they're doing what's best for their country. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but if you feel like that's wrong, then you guys need to change it.
And the world's not going to just sit back and watch democracy fail for another country. So,
No,
I'm sure at some point in time we're going to have to intervene, because the world depends on us to be the great, the great mediator, the great negotiator.
we don't negotiate
bigger-
nothing. We just pick
We
a
got the
side
bigger
and then
guns.
bomb you. It's the American way,
Bigger gun.
which don't mean nothing. Like honestly, in my honest opinion, in my heart of hearts, I'm really firmly believe that if a civil war was to break out in this country, a lot of the active servicemen would not kill their own people.
Absolutely not, because that's not the American way. So if they think that
So-
the military is going to side to their agenda, they're painstakingly they're wrong. They're wrong.
But with that said, I do think the military would come in here and act as a police force and lock shit down because they would believe that that's going to keep things safe and they think that's the right thing to do. But as far as going as killing American citizens, I don't think so. Not unless American citizens attack the soldiers, which that's not the enemy, people. We
Right.
can't,
Our
honestly,
people are not going to attack our people.
the people that are
We're just
working
not gonna
against
do it.
us, the people that are working against us, we don't even know who they are. You don't know their names. You've never seen them before. They are so much bigger than the Rothschilds that you would never even imagine. Queen of England? Who's that? The people that we're talking about, they're like Voldemort. Thou shalt not be named. Or who shall not be named.
Mm-hmm.
Wizard of Oz,
I mean,
people, man behind the curtain, brings a lot. There's a lot of shit in movies. Wake
it's
up,
facts.
love one
It's
another.
true. That's right. That's what we're supposed to. That's what we're here for. It's the only way we're gonna ever thrive and survive is with each other.
But that's my rant, people. Love one another.
Yep.
Peace out. I love
Be
y'all.
good. Be good to